Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Autumn Embers and welcome to Flower Cottage Tree House. So you may be thinking, hang on, why are there some building bits and pieces already on this lot? Shouldn't you be starting off with a plain grass rectangle or square? Yes, normally I would be, but there is a story that goes along with as to why there are some bits and pieces already on this lot. So let's start off at the very beginning, shall we? So it started one day. It was just a normal day. I was on Twitter just scrolling through. I may not be very active on Twitter, but I am there in the background. I'm reading all your tweets and reading like the responses and the conversation that may go on, and I noticed someone was asking people of the Sims community what should they build. Now normally when I see these questions being asked and it was just like a free-for-all, normally I would suggest like a tree house, and so I was struggling to find like things to build, and so I was like, okay, I should take my own suggestion on board and build a tree house. So when I think of tree houses, I think of lots of walkways and bridges and everything on different levels and different heights and sort of like very higgledy-piggledy, like all over the place. And so, I also think of a Tarzan from Disney. And so I went onto Pinterest just to fill in the gaps, perhaps give me an idea to what the house part of the tree house part could look like. And nothing that I was seeing on Pinterest was really sparking my imagination or like really going nicely with what I was going on with my head, and so I was like, okay, that wasn't great at all, was it? But I was finding quite a lot of cottages that I was liking, so I was like, okay, I may not have found a treehouse picture that I could like heavily inspire my own treehouse from, but you know, I've got some sort of idea to what the house part of the treehouse could look like. And so I decided to go ahead kind of blind, like just sort of like stumbling around in the dark, hoping and praying whatever I build will look great. And eventually, after about 3 hours, I ended up building something that I really liked. I was doing that thing when you really like something, you just kind of stare at it going, oh my god, look at what I'm building, it's so pretty. And yeah, I was doing that. And to top it all off, I completed this build quite early for me. It was still late at night, but I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I managed to make a tree house that I really like, and I can go to bed early. Well, for me it would be early. I can go to bed early, wake up at a semi-decent time the next morning, and perhaps have 3 meals a day instead of 2. It would be brilliant. Oh, look at this, it's all just magically planned out and it's wonderful. And I went to stop recording as you doodles, and that is when the problem started, because I turned a stop recording, and it is something that I've done hundreds of times. It's simple, you press a button and it stops it, and it came up with the little text on the above of your screen. It says OBS, which is my recording software, saying it was not responding. I was like, okay, that's not ideal, but it's okay. I mean, programs, they do this all the time. This is the first time it has ever happened to me with OBS, so it was like, okay, yeah, it's fine. These things happen, you know. So I was like, okay, let's just go pop over to the bathroom and go to the loo, shall we? And I spent a lot of time in the bathroom. Not for that reason. It was because in the bathroom we have like a pulley light, and at the moment it is one, very sticky, and two, once you have turned on the light, which by the way it feels like you're gonna break it, so it's gonna fall off in your hands. Once you do turn on the light, you stand there for a couple of minutes just turning it on and off, because they flicker like they do in a horror movie, and it's like, oh no, is there a ghostie in here with me in the bathroom? But yeah, I spent ages turning the light on and off, hoping that this time they will stay on and not flicker off. Yeah, but when you do turn them on, there's a 50-50 chance that you may be on the loo and they flicker off. So yeah, I spent a lot of time turning the bathroom lights on and off. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that. So as I was going down the stairs, I was thinking to myself, right, I spent a lot of time in that bathroom. Not what I was intending, but I spent a lot of time in that bathroom. This recording should have stopped by now, and I went and looked at my laptop and it was still going, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh no, this is not good news, is it? This should have finished by now. This should have responded and stopped the recording, and I was panicking slightly a little bit. I was like, oh no, please don't tell me. Please don't tell me I've lost 3 hours of recording time. Please don't say that. And I was like, okay, I was slightly panicking and freaking out, and so I said to myself, okay, let's just calm down a little bit. Let's just breathe a little bit. Programs do this. They just freeze sometimes, and you just need to be a bit more patient, and they just work themselves out. It's gonna be fine. Okay, so I was like, okay, let's go and have some biscuits and milk and just watch whatever program that's in the background. It was either Supernatural or Silent Witness. I was like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's just pop my laptop down to one side so it's not on my lap, and let's just close the lid ever so slightly, so I'm not looking at it paranoid and just waiting for it to stop. So I did that, just put it to one side, just closed it slightly, watched it where the program was in the background, had my biscuits and milk, and I dare to look at it. Oh, and look, it's finally stopped the recording, and it has no longer saying OBS isn't responding. It's like, oh, finally, that's so great news. And then I went to save the recording, and the little green bar went a little bit too quickly through as to what I was expecting, because it was a 3-hour recording. It should have gone through a little bit slower than it did, but it went pretty quickly. I was like, okay, that was a little bit too quick for my liking. Well, by this point, I knew it wasn't there. What I saved wasn't the thing that I was recording, which was this tree house, and it broke me a little bit, and I just knew. I clicked on it anyway just to see that just to confirm what I was thinking, and it turns out all I saved, all it recalled, was a empty black square that lasted for about 1.5 minutes. I was like, what? You gotta be kidding me. I spent 3 hours building a tree house that I was just like stumbling around in the dark with, to finally emerge on the other end of this tunnel and to absolutely love what I built, to the point where I was just looking at it again, oh my god, it's so pretty, and I was just so happy with it. And I've lost it because I pressed stop, which is a thing that I've done hundreds of times. What? Why? Why have you done this to me, OBS? How bloody dare you? And so there was one part of me, the sensible part of me, which is a very new side to me, and it was just saying, okay, this is not great news, I agree with you, but we can still go to bed at an early time, at like a decent time, and wake up at a decent time, and then have 3 meals a day, and then go back to it with a fresh new pair of eyeballs. And this time round you'll be quicker at it because you know what you're building, and you have your reference photos that you're gonna take, and it'll be absolutely fine. And so I went on to The Sims 4, and as I was going to The Sims 4, the old part of me was just like, yeah, nah, no, there's no way you're going to go to bed, because if you did, you'll just be focusing about the fact that something that was out of your own control just deleted your entire recording, and you just be lying there awake thinking about it, and there's no way you're going to get to sleep. And so as soon as I got onto the game, I was like, okay, I'm rebuilding this. I don't care if I'm spending like forever on it and going to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. I am doing this again. So I took pictures. I then, just before I was going about to delete this lot, the original lot, I then thought to myself, this is all on different levels and different heights and has a lot going on with it. So I thought, okay, let's just keep some of the bits and pieces of the original tree house behind so I can recreate it. And I'm so glad that I did, because I don't think I was able to recreate this tree house if it wasn't for those bits and pieces that I left behind, which is the bits that you saw at the very beginning of this video, because I took the photos which I would normally do for things that I build but not necessarily record, and I was just looking at them and going, what the hell is this? Where does this go? I mean, what am I even looking at? I don't know. So keeping those bits and pieces behind of the original build was brilliant, and the fact that I built it straight away after I bulldozed the original lot meant that I was able to recall on my own memory, and if I did it the next day, that wouldn't have happened. So I'm so glad I rebuilt it the exact same day that I deleted it and found out it wasn't even, it stopped recording, but I didn't capture it because it got stuck. So I'm really pleased with the fact that I spent until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning rebuilding it, redoing it, and it is the exact thing that I built the first time round. I made sure of that. I even saved it to my library, the one that I built first, just to sort of like compare it to this one, and it's pretty much the same thing. So that's absolutely brilliant because I love it. I love it even more with the garden underneath. So moving indoors. So I had a little bit of a problem with the inside because I didn't know how to go about decorating this place, and so I did some like decorating off screen for like the kitchen, because I like to start off the kitchen to base what the rest of the house is going to look like. And I went very suburban, or then I went very suburban modern, and then I just thought to myself, I just thought like, okay, let's just take a moment and just think to myself, what is this tree house? What is it made up of just by the outside? And I focused really hard on the Jungle Adventure debug fences that I put down, and for some reason like spindly wood that we have with those Jungle Adventure fences, they always remind me of like whimsical fairy tale kind of look. I was like, okay, I can do that. And the cottage, it kind of looks very fairy tale like with the curved roof. I was like, okay, this is good. So I was like, okay, the interior is going to be very nature inspired, very whimsical, very sort of like cottagey, fairy tale like. And so I went onto Pinterest hoping this time around it gave me some inspiration for the interior, but that didn't happen either. So I was like, okay, that's not what I wanted either. So I then thought to myself, okay, what packs give me that very whimsical nature fairy tale cottage vibe, and I came up with Realm of Magic and Seasons. And Realm of Magic has kitchen counters that I always forget they have. I know they're just the base game re-rendered with nicer bits and pieces attached to them, but they're new counters, aren't they? So I was like, okay, let's start off with that, shall we? And I came up with the kitchen idea off screen. So when I basically went to record, I was just redoing it from memory and the pictures I took on my phone. Pictures on my phone are just basically houses in real life that I quite like the look of and could replicate in The Sims 4, or buildings that I quite like and would like to build again for you guys to see. So that's what my photo gallery on my phone looks like. And I was like, okay, I really, really like this. I really like the look of the kitchen, the way that I did it. And then I was like, okay, but how am I supposed to decorate the rest of this house? And like I said, I went onto Pinterest to look up whimsical fairy tale nature looking rooms, and yeah, I didn't find anything that I was really happy with. So I then went to look at whimsical weddings, because that is exactly what I was looking for. There were so many more pictures to look at, and it was more to the aesthetic that I was going for. And it felt like it was much easier to achieve in The Sims 4, because I think the whimsical style that I was seeing in the Pinterest images would be very easy to achieve if I had CC, but I don't. So I was like, okay, what do I do now? I'm a little bit stuck. So yeah, I looked at wedding whimsical photos, and yeah, this entire house, well, part of the kitchen, is basically based off like a whimsical wedding. And for the main bedroom here, I love the way it turned out in the end, but it took some time because at the moment I thought, okay, this bed is perfect because it has all like the curved wood, it has like very whimsical fairy tale looking bed frame. The bed itself is not the great, it's kind of ugly. But what do I do with the rest of the room? I don't know. And so I did quite a few attempts to this, and at one point I was like, okay, let's just put some curtains in, shall we? Let's just put some more decorations on the downstairs. In the living room, I do add a little bit more with like some flowers. I discuss a little bit more because what I do in the bedroom is very similar to what I do in the living room. You don't see it in the living room, but you do see me do it in the bedroom, which is why I will talk about it then. So here I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing with this bedroom. Let's just go ahead and decorate another part of this build, and hopefully in the meantime I will have this lovely light bulb moment that will allow me to decorate the 2 bedrooms. And so I moved on to the sauna. So this sauna, it does fit, but it doesn't have a nice snug fit. And I've never been to a sauna, but my sister has, and she told me that having a nice cold shower after the sauna was quite nice. So I was like, okay, let's pop that in there in that very small 1x4, I think it is, could be 5. So I thought, yeah, let's chop that in, since that is a perfect size for a shower and it makes sense to me. So here is the decking area where you would have like a nice little barbecue. Underneath is the pool. I can see some very wacky people thinking, oh, I could hop off this balcony into the swimming pool, and most people go, yeah, don't do that. And then there'd be some people like, oh yeah, let's do that. Like, no, that's no. So the reason why there are lots of like fairy lights around the place is because I asked my mum if she was able to make the tree house of her dreams, what would it look like, just to help me out with the overall look of the tree house. And I didn't get much of an answer from my mum. I was like, okay, that's not helpful. But she did say the tree house would have lots and lots of like fairy lights all over the place. So that's what I'm doing here. I really, really wanted that nice sort of like crisscross loop-to-loop kind of light fairy lights going on, but they wouldn't match up because they were either not long enough or a little bit too long. And so I was like, okay, let's not do that. And I think I did do it, and I was like, but it doesn't make sense. We've got all these poles in the way, just sort of like dotted and congregating around one edge of this curved balcony. And so I was like, okay, I need to cover this pole gathering up. So I was like, okay, let's just put some flowers around that didn't really cover it up. So I put that get together weird town thingy in. It looks out of place, but I was thinking back in the younger days they got like a bit juiced up, and they took that. It looks really heavy, but it's probably one of those things that looks really heavy but really really light. So that was my thinking. They got a bit juiced up and just took it home with them. It's happened before. I've heard stories of like my family members doing like similar things, but with like bus stops, like the temporary bus stops. Don't do that. That is stealing. This here, this is the pool area for like it'd be like a nice nature pool with the like mossy bits, and then that is the like diving board. Be careful, if it was real you might hit your head on one of the branches, but it'd be like, oh, can you jump high enough so you can grab the branch? Gotta be careful though, it is a bit of a narrow point as you dive in. As you could see, there was a bit of a narrow point around the tree. Could have widened it up, but I didn't. Throughout this sort of like decking walkway area, I wanted every like little nook and cranny walking bit area to have like things your Sims can do. So I put lots of like pot plants so your Sims have a reason to walk there. I put like a flower station, again a reason for your Sims to walk there and go over to that part. So here, moving back into the bedroom, this is where I looked up how like whimsical bedrooms. I noticed a lot of them had 4-poster beds, and I was going to go for this one because it has a nice sort of roses on the top. I was like, yeah, nah, I don't like it. I did try to put some purple into this bedroom because I noticed that in my builds normally, I normally don't put purple in my builds. I have nothing against the colour, I really quite like it, but I don't use it in my builds. And so I tried to use it in the main bedroom, but instead it got moved to the kids' bedroom, which I love by the way. And the thing here with the roses that have kind of been smudged into the wall, I've used the Romantic Garden wall vine thingamajiggies, and yeah, they're on like a backing. I smudged them into the wall so we can't see that. And what I did here with those roses and those vines, I basically did in the living room downstairs, because at the moment I was like, something's missing from here. It's not very romantic, whimsical, like those weddings photos that I was looking at. Well, images, not photos, they sound a bit personal, say photos. So I used them in the living room. Like I said, I just kind of smushed the backing into the walls, you can't see them, and it just looks a more romantic, whimsical, very soft lighting, which was what I was also seeing in these whimsical wedding photos. They also use lots of dusty pinks or rose pink, or they use sort of like a nice light blue or like a purple, which is why I was trying to use it in this bedroom. Or they use like whitey creamy colours. They use quite soft creamy pastely colours, except from the dusty pink. So that's why I used lots of pinks in here, which is why I want to use the purple. And so yeah, just putting down some fairy lights, because there was lots of fairy lights in these wedding photos, wedding images. I keep saying wedding photos, but wedding photos to me, they sound very personal. They sound like the picture of the couple getting married. So moving on to the single bedroom. So this was heavily inspired by the bedroom that I did for my Frankenstein build, where every single room in that build was in a different style, voted by you guys who follow me on Instagram. And I really loved the way that turned out and looked, because it had a very sort of like granny chic. I tried to explain granny chic to me mum, it didn't really register, it didn't really work. But I really like the style of how that bedroom turned out, and so I thought, okay, I think I can to like use it and transform it into whatever is going on with this house, which is all like very whimsical, very taupe, soft, kind of romantic look. So I used the same wallpaper, but in this time it's a purple colour because I want to use purple. I used that single bed with like, it's like a 4-poster single bed to go along with the 4-poster master bed, and just changing the lights around. These ones are slightly brighter compared to the last ones because the last ones were more of like a warmer light. I don't mind them. I think they suit this aesthetic a little bit more. If you want them to be slightly more warmer, like the last ones were, you can just change the dimness in them, or just go for like a warmer white colour. When you go into live mode, you click on the light, go, I want a warmer light colour, and it changes that light, all the lights, or any lights in the room. Okay. So here, normally, if it wasn't for the update, which gave us ladders and free movement on doors and windows, is brilliant. This makes me so happy. Normally, this room here, which is the study, or like the computer room, normally I wouldn't be able to get up there if it was just like a normal house and it was like a normal cottage without all the multi-level walkways and balconies. I wouldn't be able to get up there anyways because it would just be a room for these stairs and it'd be absolutely pointless. But with the fact that we have ladders, I can now use these empty rooms that I would normally not be able to use before. So I just used like a little study area there, or a computer desk area there. Here, since we had a kid, I was like, okay, this could be like a little tiny little cutesy kids playroom area here, which was like a good idea, I thought. And then I was like, okay, what do I do here? I think a bathroom here would be a bit weird. So I was like, okay, what do I do? And then I was like, oh, laundry. I mean, I haven't put any laundry baskets down, but I can quite happily do that quite quickly. And so I put some laundry, washing machines down. I also turned this into like a storage area here for your trick-or-treaters and your decorating boxes. I would love to see that. Love to see bunting all over the place on this place. It'd be so cool. But this is basically it. I'm really happy with it, despite the problems that I had at the very beginning with stupid OBS not responding to me when I pressed stop and losing my entire recording. Had to spend until 4 o'clock in the morning to rebuild this, but I'm super happy with the way it turned out and it's really pretty. And so I'm gonna leave you guys here, so thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and please like and subscribe, and thank you and goodbye.